Hey, Jeff, welcome back to the show. Give us a little update on yourself.
Thank you, Brian. It's good to be back. It's been what, 3 months? 3 months
Yeah.
since we last spoke, I think, and we were talking about how to get on with people and how to talk to people and how to go out and see people, and then COVID-19 came along.
Yeah.
So it's interesting times, sir.
And you've worked at home before.
Some might say that. I mean, our favourite saying, when the dinosaurs roamed the earth.
Yeah.
24 years, when to turn around to somebody and say, I work from home, elicited oh, that's easy. That is so easy, working from home. That's got to be, I used to call my office when I first did it in 1998. I used to call my office Eastern Sales Office, so that I didn't put home on there, because
Oh,
it's got that thing, isn't it? It's got that thing. You're sitting in front of the television, you're playing with your dog, you're feeding yourself donuts all day. It's difficult. It is difficult. And I wanted to, hopefully today, have a little chat with you about a lot of people that are now being asked to please sit at home and work.
yeah.
And what I see are the issues of, and some of the problems that people might have. I know that when I first sat at home to work in 1998, I would come out to I had a bedroom then in the house that I used to live in. I had a little bedroom, and I'd come into the bedroom and I'd shut the door and I'd sit at I'd sit at the screen and I'd go, send me an email. I've got to
Yeah.
send me an email, please. And I used to sit there and sit there and sit there, waiting and waiting and waiting, get more and more stressed out. And I wouldn't take a break. My back would get bad. I wouldn't go for a walk. I wouldn't do anything. Because in those days, working from home as a salesman, which, let's face it, is the easiest job in the world anyway, really, really had a stigma about it. It was really, you're not doing a full day's work. So rush forward 23 years, and I'm now standing in my office, and I say standing because I have what is called a standing desk, and that standing desk I've had for nearly 3 years now, and I've lost a bit of weight. So in American language, I've lost sort of, I suppose, 10-15 pounds. In European language, I've lost 6-7 kilos, and in the UK, I've lost a stone.
Yeah.
So it's something that makes me, I stand here, I do my thing, and I work from home. And I think a lot of people are now going to be told, my company, Pelco, where I work, great emails coming out from the team, great communication. We're all very, very worried about this COVID-19 thing. It's going to be with us for a few weeks yet, maybe a bit longer. I sounded like Trump then, God. And we got to the situation where, for the first time, somebody who is used to having those water cooler moments is going to be asked to sit down and work from home. We've got a guy that works for us. Great guy, our biz manager, absolutely fantastic. But he's working from home for the first time. And he's sitting down and he's got his computer on his coffee table and he's working at home and he's got all the audio and everything and he's blurring out the background, but he's still struggling. Because I think people, the boss knows when you log on. Let's face it, the boss knows that you're logging on. So I think it's a question of what you do normally at work, just do at home.
Yeah.
If you want to go for a cup of coffee, go and have a cup of coffee. If you want to have a cup of tea, have it.
And what worked for you? What type of structure, what type of routine do you have?
Okay, so I am a morning person, okay? I am not somebody that likes, I'm not a 7-8 o'clock at night, let's do stuff person. I'm a morning person. So I find what I try and do is I try and do a lot of work in the morning. So I sometimes get up really early, and I sit with Kevin and Perry on my lap in the lounge, and we've all got our lovely little mobile phones these days. And I go through the emails that have come in overnight on that. And then about 8:30, 8:45, I come out to my office, and it's 10 paces up the garden. It's not a big thing. But because I'm coming to work, I can close that door. There's no distractions from outside. I'm coming to work. So I've got a mobile phone, obviously. I charge it wirelessly. I have a pair of I have an earphones, which we tried to get working just now. I have some earphones, which are linked to the phone. And the thing I like about the standing desk is it gives me so much freedom.
Yeah.
It means I walk up and down my office making my call. And they often say that people, when they walk around, make better decisions. I mean, you do your podcast things and you go up the road with your selfie stick. But the other thing I also do is I exercise.
In the morning.
So I either go bike riding on that, or if it's raining, because no one's paying me to go bike riding, I use my rower, and I've got a rowing machine that I row, and I do 20 minutes on my rower. The other thing I also, this is the sad bit now, I'm gonna take the camera if I may. So I have that down there. Now that's a push-up board thing, and there's my chair that I never really ever use, but I do regular exercise.
Yeah.
Because I think the biggest mistake I made when I first worked from home was I sat at the desk for 8 hours. And then when I got this standing desk, I stood at it for the first day all day. And the next day I couldn't walk. Absolutely finished me. So I now got to the other side. I've climbed that hill. So I've now got my chair, which I hardly ever use, and I feel guilty sitting in it. But the desk goes up and down just by pushing the button. It's so easy, even I managed to put it together. But I think the other thing you've got to do as well, you mustn't be overwhelmed by stuff. I think you've got to do that task thing. I've got my little day, I call it going analog when I write stuff down. So I've got my little cards, my contacts of cards here, and I've got some little fiddly things that I can fiddle with if I want to fiddle with stuff while I talk on the phone. But I think it helps you to focus. Write a list in the morning of what you want to achieve.
Yeah, I think that's key.
Write that list. There's no point having it on your computer.
Right.
Let's go old school. Let's go analog. Get a pen. Write the list. And don't be worried if you don't complete it.
And I think people get that wrong, because I think people put like 20 or 30 things on the list instead of 3 to 5.
Yeah.
You can always add more, but
Absolutely.
not doing it.
Right. Well, the other week when you did one of your talks and you said about the neighbours, I thought after I'd commented on it, I thought, I wish I'd said this. What I thought about saying was, when you move into a neighbourhood, you haven't got to get on with all of your neighbours, have you?
Right. Yeah.
You get on with some of them.
Yeah.
You don't get on with all of them. This guy living here, known him 25 years, great guy. This guy living here, okay. So I say the same about when I'm working from home. If I'm working from home, I've got my list, I talk to people, and I'm also very lucky. There's a little core group of 3 of us that run the south of the UK, and Pelco are very, very supportive. I'll put that, they're the American company, very, very supportive of how they want to run their people. But I've got 3 of us. There's my contracts manager, me, another business development guy, and we get together 3 times a week, just for 20 minutes, just to chat. And another thing that you should do that I've done, again, this friendship has gone on for years. Find somebody not in your business that you can phone up and talk to.
Yeah.
Because the worst thing, if you and I work for each other, and it's, oh, Brian, did you see what Tony did? No, it just goes blip, 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 and you just go
Downward spiral.
Down. Yeah. You've got to look at yourself. Those big cranes they have doing the construction, they pull themselves up by pulling on their shoelaces, and that's what you have to do. You've got to be motivated. We have a mission statement where I live, and I've had it made, and it's stuck on the wall. But here's a picture of me sailing my boat around the Isle of Wight, and that makes me feel, let's get on with it. And I think from a sales point of view as well, any salesman that works from home, because I'm based, my contract says you work from home, but any salesman that goes out 5 days a week who works from home is going to fail. So the working from home thing, I often say to my boss, I want to do appointments Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, because Monday and a Friday, I want to be preparing myself Monday and finishing it all up on Friday.
Yep.
Don't feel just because you work from home, you've got to go out. Unfortunately, at the moment, we can't go out. We've got to stay at home.
Yeah. And do you keep a normal start and stop time?
I try to. I try to finish around about. I'm not going to tell you the time. No, I finish. I try to
Around
finish
3 in the afternoon.
Yeah, hey,
When the pub
come on,
opens.
I'm not adding 4 hours for anybody. I try to finish about 4, 4:30, to be blunt, because the one thing that everybody has got that they didn't have 23 years ago is they've got a decent mobile phone.
That's it. And what's your living situation? Do you have a spouse or kids or pets?
I have. So my wife has horses. So every morning while she's not at, my wife also works for the National Health Service. So she's going through all sorts of stuff at the moment with what's going on over here and around the world, obviously. And we walk a mile up the road each way every morning to see make sure the horses are okay. But the house is 10 meters, 10, 20 meters away, back door. And I'm just very lucky that I've got this space that I've got reflective vinyl on the door. So you have to sort of look through it like that to see if what I'm doing. And I think you have to keep them separate. When I walk out of here, I'm closed.
Yeah. And how do you keep distractions away? Social media, TV, YouTube?
Right. So over here, which you can't see, is my personal laptop.
Okay. You separate it.
Separate it out. I have a switch. I can switch between the two screens if I want to. If you went onto my laptop and you did a forensic search on it, there would only be business. Stop it. There would only be business. Hey, I know what you're saying. There would only be business. The only bad stuff I've really got on there is your podcast. So
that's the best stuff.
There'll be dodgy stuff, but no, you have to separate them. You have to do that. You have to do it. The minute I see people with their company laptops and open up their company laptop and it's got a picture of their family on it, okay, fine. But I'm sorry, mate. That's work. This is play.
Yeah.
That's work. This is play. You have to keep it separate. My phone. So in 1990, I was given a mobile phone number, and I was told by the person who gave me that mobile phone number in 1990, in years to come, we will live on these devices. So I've never since 1990 changed my mobile phone number. So when I go to a company, this is my mobile phone number. All I want you to give me is your laptop. I'll provide the office.
And I, like you, I've worked from home probably about 20 years.
Yeah.
And worked for myself for probably the last 7 or 8. How do you turn it off, though? Because that's the other hard part, where it's like, I mean, for me, most days it's from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep.
Yeah. So a lot of turning off is who you work for.
Well, I work for me. I mean, do you think you work for yourself, or do you feel like you work for someone else?
I work for a company. I work for me because I have a number. I've got a number to do. And touch wood, I've never failed that number in 20 years that I've been working for various companies. But the company I work for now is very, what I would call, I'd use the word friendly, but I know if it comes to it, they're not, if you know what I mean. So I'd use the word friendly, they're caring. I've worked for people that aren't caring, and that's when you work, and that's when you go, oh God, I should have done that email. Oh, I should have, and that's when you worry. That's when you wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning thinking, I wonder if that email's coming. And so I try to just I do a lot of sailing. I do a lot of sailing on my boat, and I sail my boat in the winter. I ride my bike. Sorry, I sail my boat in the summer. I ride my bike in the winter. I watch some television, and I just have to switch off. But because this is my private number, at 8 o'clock every night, only my favourite people can ring me.
Yeah. And do you have 2 phones, or you just have your?
I have the one phone.
Right. That's smart.
One phone, one number. But at 8 o'clock at night until 6 o'clock in the morning, if you're not on my favourite list, you don't get through. You're going to test it. Oh God, put them on the list. So,
hey, you're not picking up.
When I'm in a hotel on business, I keep it on 24 hours a day. But the friend thing still kicks in. But then what happens? I was in a hotel once. The guy went, Jeff, I couldn't get you at 8 o'clock last night. No, I had my friends only, and you're not on that list.
Yeah.
because you work. And I have to separate it. If you don't separate it, you go mad. And I say to people that are working from home, if you've got to work, I mean, it's a big thing. A big thing happened on LinkedIn the other day about all of a sudden you've got all this stuff on LinkedIn about that perfect office setup, this, that, and the other. No. What suits you? I couldn't work in my kitchen. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Dogs would drive me crazy. As soon as anybody walks past the window, the dogs go mad. So this is nice and quiet. It's my little bit of solitude, but it's my business place. You know, my wife more or less knocks on the door before she comes in here. And that to me is important because that has to be the way. And then of course you get people setting stuff up. I'm going to move the camera again. You get people setting stuff up and they set it up like that.
Right. Yeah.
They set it up like that. And you're going, now listen here, Brian, what I want you to do is I want you to go and give your number. And if you don't do your number, Brian, I'm sorry, we're going to have to fire you. And I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that. I've actually got to the stage now where I say to people, could you move your camera up a little bit, please? And the other day I was talking to a guy and he was literally like that. He was like that.
And what I find weird is, you know, especially for salespeople, that they haven't tried to work at home before.
I know.
I mean, do you really go home and not do anything?
Exactly. Do you finish your call at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, get home at 4 and go, forget that then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I have the luxury of living at home, and I have the top floor has 2 bedrooms and a loft.
Nice.
But they're all offices.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I've got iMacs everywhere. I got a standing desk, and I'd love to ask, how long did it take to get used to the standing desk?
I actually did 3 articles on LinkedIn called Standing Desk Part 1, Standing Desk Part 2, and Standing Desk Part 3. And it took me about 3 months to get used to it.
Yeah.
Don't expect to walk up to your standing desk on Monday and go, this is going to be great. You will, at the end of the day, you will be struggling. You will be dead on your feet. And then, but because I can lock it all up here, I haven't got to worry. So I was talking to one of the guys. So we can now do demos. So I can get you through to my contracts guy, and he can do a demo for you of our system live. We do it on Zoom. It is a thing of beauty. But he lives in a flat. And I said to him, so what do you do with that stuff at night? Oh, it just stays out. Now, I said to him, right, you've got to start putting it away, because we've been locked up in, as I say, my wife works for the National Health Service. So whilst the UK has been locked up for 2 weeks, this is my 3rd week, because she told me, you're not going anywhere. Yeah. So, and the thought of having this or a laptop or something in my house, a work laptop, oh, it doesn't even bear thinking about. You've got to put it away, cover it up with a box, put it in your laptop bag, put it somewhere where you'd normally put it if you weren't working from home. But if you are working from home, make it as comfortable as possible. There's a guy the other day, loads of backlight, you know, is anybody there? And he was quite clearly sitting on his settee. Then his dog jumped up on his lap. It's not conducive, is it? It's not really nice.
Right. And that's hard, because at one time I did have a couple of cats, and they were very hard. The configuration was hard to keep them out, because even if you shut the door, they were very loud.
Yeah. Well, we've got two Chihuahuas.
Yeah.
And Kevin is with Kevin and Perry, the Chihuahuas. They're lovely, beautiful dogs, but they're noisy. So
right, you keep them separate.
Yeah, the door gets shut, and that's it. I mean, Mandy's inside the house now. She's on vacation this week. She's in the house, back door's shut, dogs are in, and that's it.
Right,
simple.
because nothing screams unprofessional like an animal barking or crying or.
Don't. I don't even mind kids so much. You know, I don't even mind, because you know what? Here's a secret. When you're talking to somebody, and he's got his kids with him, you can say to them, oh, hello, Charlie. Do you know you've got the best dad in the world?
There you go.
Yeah.
It's a natural conversation point. Yeah. And how about like breaks, so you don't get burnt out and just, you know.
Okay, so I do some push-ups, I do some physical exercise, but I will go in and I will make a coffee. I will make it in the kitchen. I might take my phone with me. I
Yeah.
might be on a phone call because I don't find, like you, this is second nature to us now. An earpiece and
Right. Yeah.
earpiece and phone is second nature. The biggest thing you've got to watch out with wireless earpieces, of course, is you walk away and all of a sudden you go past that 10 meters and you can't hear
You
them.
lose it. Yeah.
You lose it. But no, I make sure that I take a break. I do not eat at my desk.
Right. Good idea.
I do
Yeah.
not eat at my desk. I do not eat at my desk. You know, that is the most crazy thing that ever got invented. So I take a lunch break. I take a proper lunch, you know, even if it's only half an hour, you know, 20 minutes, half an hour. I'm very lucky that I live down by the coast. So back in the early days when I was working at home, I thought, I've got to go for a walk. I went for a walk. My boss rang me. Jeff, I can hear seagulls in the background. Yes, because I'm going for a walk. What, in company time? Whereas now, it's
Yeah.
accepted. It's accepted. You know, my boss says to me, I don't expect anybody to be in front of their desks. You know, you are my 6th conference call today, and it started at 8:30 this morning. You're my last one.
That's it. As salespeople, we got to remember it's the effectiveness.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Yes, exactly.
And the craziness that I had was I was a remote rep, meaning the office I went to had at best one other company person there occasionally. So I was literally going there for a room, a phone, and an internet connection. So you have a phone in your pocket, you have an internet connection everywhere, and I'm driving easily a half hour through traffic, stressful, and probably 45 minutes coming home the way the traffic went. And it took me a while to say, why am I doing this?
Absolutely. Oh, God, yeah.
There's a good hour and a half of productivity and aggravation. And, you know, plus you got to get dressed a certain way. You know, to get lunch is more complicated.
Home workers are the most productive people on the planet because you get a little bit of guilt about not doing the email, which is always a good thing to keep. And I still get that. I still look at an email and I think, you know, if I'm inside at 5:30 and an email pops out, I go, I'm just going to pop out to the office for a second. If I deem it necessary to answer it. And then the other thing you get is you get to do what you need to do. So you'll never see me with a Death Head Metallica tour 1935 on it. It's always going to be a neutral clothes that I wear. So, and I think that's important as well. And again, the placement of the screen and how you talk to people and how you don't talk to people. And I get very conscious that I'm not looking at the camera now. I'm looking at you on the screen. Don't worry about that because we're all doing that. That's how it works.
It is crazy because I remember one time where I was switching jobs. The day I started at the new job, the new computer was on my doorstep in the morning. I took the new one out, put the old one in the new box and shipped it back to my, but my trick was I never used company hardware. I would take it because you know what they do? Like if there's a layoff or something, they have this remote scrape.
Oh, yes.
And all of a sudden, if you didn't back it up, you lost everything if you didn't put it somewhere else.
Well, Pelco like the bring your own device. So the laptops, they're all company, which is fine. We've got a network, we've got to do security. But, you know, that's my lovely Samsung S10. So, you know, it's a thing of beauty, S20 rather, thing of beauty.
And you
keep
the same phone number and you probably get calls from old customers.
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I mean, when I worked for Verint, the big American IP company, they offered me $10,000 for that phone number in 2003. And I said, well, if it's worth $10,000 to you, what's it worth to me?
Exactly.
And I do. I back it up in 3 different places. And, you know, it's Google, it's Outlook, and it's somewhere else.
Yes.
And that's what matters. It's come to work, you know, we're going through this horrible COVID thing. Yeah. The way the world works is about to change because all of a sudden, all of these guys are going to be sat in the office going, well, hold on a minute. All of our guys, our admin people, they all work from home. Why have we got all this office space? Let's turn it into flats or apartments.
Well,
And that's
and
what,
plus it takes away all those distractions and office politics
yeah,
and
yeah,
pecking order
yes,
and backstabbing.
yeah. When I
Y-
go to the office, it's a thing of beauty to see, but I go to the office and I can't do what I normally do. And so when I join a company, I say to them, I work from home. I'd also say the easiest way for me to fail, the easiest way for me to fail is to upset you guys.
And
Because
it's as a rep, it's pretty easy to do if you're
oh,
there
easiest thing
eight
in
to
the
10
world.
hours, right?
Yeah,
Because you're in a bad mood, you're hyper
yeah,
focused, they want to have a
yes.
birthday party, and
I
you're
don't want
like,
to fail.
I
No,
don't have time. I want to party with my friends, and
exactly. Yeah,
right,
exactly.
to spend
Exactly.
half an hour, wishing you happy birthday. It's
Yeah,
nice, but it's not
yeah.
productive.
No, it's not. And I think people are going to. I think we're going to come out of this with a lot more people working from home. A lot more people working from home.
Yeah.
And I think the whole thing. So people that are now working from home, don't be scared. Embrace it.
Yes.
I'm on LinkedIn. You can PM me. If anybody out there is having issues, PM me, and we'll have a chat.
Cool.
Not a
Hey,
problem.
appreciate
Not a
your
problem.
time today. And
And
where can they find you on LinkedIn?
find me on LinkedIn, Jeff Gritton on LinkedIn. My phone number's on there. And if you're going to go on LinkedIn, put your phone number on your LinkedIn, on your contact details. Phone number's there, emails there. PM me if you want to talk. We'll have a talk. And maybe in the next 3 months, Brian, hopefully we'll do this again and about another subject, eh?